Hello.
And I remember talking to a Maori guy about it and him saying, do you know what, there's quite a few of us take it the wrong way. It's about keep mean, be, not in the right way. And he said, and it's so good that you understand what that means about...
Hello.
Daddy, I love him.
Mother thanks you.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're back with we've got a bit of an in-betweeny episode, haven't we, Brian? Bit of an in-betweeny podcast.
In-betweeny, yeah.
Well, it is, because we thought we were going to be coming back this week to talk to you about our Thailand plans and our travel plans and Brian's birthday, which was last week. And we were going to talk to you all about that. But actually something so brilliant and so mind-blowing to me happened this week that I just said, we have just got to go on the podcast and talk about this. This is just super, I don't know. It's one of those things that happen in life when you just think, I don't believe that.
When the stars aligned.
Yeah. And I really believe in that stuff. I really believe in the universe, energies. I don't know what the right words are, but I just know that I believe in it, about attracting and things that you want, you attract and things like that. And this happened this week. And like I say, I just thought, oh, Bri, we've got to talk about that.
It does, because it just, when something you're thinking about it yourself and then you just can't believe it's just happened to you type thing.
So if you're new to the podcast, we're Liz and Brian, husband and wife, and we talk about life in the middle, I want to say.
Just life.
Yeah, you can't just say life though, because we're middle-aged and we talk about life, being middle-aged, travelling, living in New Zealand, just getting through life in the most brilliant way we can. But that also involves things that come into your life that you don't want to happen. And recently I lost my mum to cancer, and we've been talking about that and how it's been just to be in that, on that grief journey. Yeah. And always the way you think, I'm just, we're not moving out of it, because that's the wrong thing to say, because I always feel guilty when I say that.
No, you're learning to grow with it. So you're growing with it, and it's always going to be there somewhere along the line, isn't it? But it's just, you're adapting your life to what it was, and that's what's the life-changing thing, isn't it? Yep.
So we live in New Zealand. We live in Taranaki on the North Island of New Zealand. And this is why this particular podcast is so, so important. You just need to know that, because we get so many questions. We're both English, and we moved from England 15 years ago. And you get a lot of questions like, why do you still live there? And, what's so special about New Zealand? And it's one of those things, isn't it, that you can't put your finger on it.
No, we've said it umpteen times. You don't know it until you move here or live here. You can't, as much as you can explain it, you don't feel it until you're here. And that's the thing. Really,
but what happened this week was just, this is us just taking, well, certainly me just taking it and going, there you go, that's why I live in New Zealand. So I've been writing these letters of inspiration, little things that have been helping me and not helping me, and just letters that I've been putting together for my newsletter. And one of those letters was about things that people say to you when you're grieving. So before I jump in and tell you about what happened last week and the whole story of why I just flipping love New Zealand with all my heart, and how it has just lifted me to the next step. I just feel like New Zealand this week has lifted me onto the next step. You imagine if you're climbing steps and you're right at the bottom, and that's when you feel really rubbish and really sad and really down. And then, like someone, like being a child, and someone just gets you from under the arms and lifts you up and then goes, there you go, look, just hop up 2 or 3 steps there, and there you are now. And I just feel like that's what New Zealand has done to me. But before we go into the story of how this came to be and why we're sharing this, I need to read to you one of the letters that I sent out to my email newsletter people, because without knowing the backstory, you will not know what I'm talking about. So I just want to share with you one of the letters that I wrote, all about the saying kia kaha and what people say to you to make you feel better when you're grieving. So please just sit back, thank you for your time, and let me just share that letter with you. I never know what to say to people who are grieving, which is worrying, considering I'm in the depths of grief myself. Whenever someone tells me they've lost a loved one, I start mumbling and fumbling for words, terrified that I'm going to say something wrong or upset them. Since losing Mum, I've become hyper-aware of the well-intended words that people offer me when they give me their condolences. I'm learning to recognise the phrases and remarks that bring me comfort, and those that don't. You're doing so well. For example, I love this. These words make me feel encouraged and safe and understood. You're doing so well is like a secret code from someone who's walked in my shoes. Someone who knows how hard it is to walk down the supermarket aisle without pulling the cans of beans from the shelves and crawling into the vacant space. Then there's the other word, the other saying, the one that sounds like you're doing so well, but doesn't quite hit the target. You're strong, Liz. You've got this. Oh, God. This well-intended, you'll get through this with strength, my girl saying, it makes me withdraw inwards. Makes me feel like a fake. The beans get a boot. Shame replaces bravery and I silently crumble. Because I'm not. I'm not strong. I'm far from it. Each week, me and Brian, my husband, record our podcast, It's a Drama, and at the end, Brian encourages you, the listener, to Kia Kaha, which in the Māori language translates roughly as stay strong. I'm not sure why he started saying this, but he did, and people love it. I love it, or at least I thought I did. It's become his signature thing, a bit like when Bruce Forsyth used to say, "Didn't she do well?" Kia kaha, stay strong. Recently, Brian's heartfelt outro has been rubbing me up a bit the wrong way. Whenever I hear him say it, it just makes me bristle. Goodbye for now and kia kaha makes me want to lift my imaginary skunk tail and just spray him with stinky repellent from the other side of the table. Don't say that, I want to yell in front of the microphone. What if people out there feel the way I feel? What if they don't feel strong? What if they can't be strong? What then? Maybe Brian needs reminding that when you're in the depths of grief, being told to be strong puts an enormous pressure on you. Because you don't feel strong, you feel weak and frail and puny. And Brian voicing the be strong message just makes me feel like a big fat failure. I decided to challenge him about his outro. I didn't get far. His words were gentle and patient. The corners of his eyes formed an extra crease as he leaned into me and smoothed his thumb backwards and forwards across the knuckle of my closed fist. It's kia kaha, Liz. Stay strong. Stay strong. Not be strong. Stay strong. They mean different things. Clever clocks. It's just splitting hairs. It means the same thing. I'll prove it. I pulled out the dictionary and found the word stay. It gives a few definitions, but the one that jumped out to me was this. Stay. A station or fixed anchorage for vessels. A brace or support. Kia kaha. Stay strong. I'm thinking of changing the outro of the podcast. From now on, I think Brian should say, goodbye for now, and don't forget, you are a ship floating around in stormy, cloudy waters. And at the depth of your being is strength. You may not feel it, but it's always there. It will not let you float away, not ever. That is your stay. Kia kaha. I think about it. Now, kia kaha is perfect. Kia kaha says it all in two beautiful words. Kia kaha. Stay strong.
Well, do you know what, Liz? I absolutely loved the way that you came around with that. And it brought home to me a lot of things regarding the saying of Kia Kaha and, why I do say it and always have said it on the podcast, or try to always say it. I don't know whether I said it straight off the bat, but it's just something, that it means a lot to me.
Tell me what it means to you. Tell me what it means before we go on and all the other story. Just, this is really lovely. So tell me what it means to you and why you say it.
Well, what it means to me is about, every day. Every day can be hard but especially being a tradie and everything. You when it says Kia Kaha, it's that stay strong. It doesn't mean you've got to be strong, or you've got to get to yourself, or you've got to work out in the gym and you've got to be this and that. And it's like you must, keep yourself at your physical performance. It's about. It encompasses everything about it. It means so much to me in my mind. I remember seeing it. I went to Pukiriki, which is the museum in New Plymouth, and in the gift shop there was a little Kia Kaha T-shirt, and I was like, "What's that? What does it mean?" This was probably 10 years ago. I remember just reading it, and underneath in English it says, "Stay strong," and it just hit me. It's just, there it is. That's what you've got to be, just to keep moving forward, just to be there. And it's whatever you have from now is just keep it and don't let it go. And it can mean two ways. Yes, it can mean, if your body's strong, your mind will be strong. But there's times when it's not about how physically strong you are. It's about when you're down or whatever it is. It's staying strong in those tough times. And that's what it meant to me. It doesn't matter what, when, and I go back to saying being a tradie, when you're having a tough day, you're exhausted, it's 7:00 and you're trying to get home. Come on, stay strong, keep focused, keep moving forward, and you'll be back and you'll be home having your dinner soon. Those things are just simple things. And that's what I love about it. And I remember talking to a Maori guy about it and him saying, do you know what, there's quite a few of us take it the wrong way. It's about being strong, keep mean, be, not in the right way. And he said, and it's so good that you understand what that means about staying strong, And I love that because, we can all be mean and nasty, but it's not about that. It's about staying strong.
Yeah, and I think as well, because the Māori people, they're big people, aren't they? And they're warriors.
They look like warriors.
Yeah,
they do.
And when you hear stay strong, you could quite easily, like you say, quite easily take that to mean, be tough, like, just keep fighting. But I love that that's your interpretation of it, is just that whole, it encompasses everything.
It does. It encompasses the warrior through and through. But it doesn't matter whereabouts you are as a warrior. But yeah, you're in the battle and we're not going to win this. So stay strong and let's do the best we can.
Yeah.
And whatever battle it is, it doesn't have to be men fighting men or women fighting women or whatever it is. It's just...
It's a battle of your mind sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
The battle of grief, the battle of anything that you're just battling.
Yeah, just coping with gravity.
Yeah. So, I'm glad you said that. It told us that.
Yeah. So I loved it that you actually took it on board, and the way you wrote about that, it's just, yes, you understand it. That's what I loved about what you'd written. Well,
this was the thing, is I've been writing these letters and I wrote that one down and I remember reading it to you and you said, oh, is that what you think it means, is be strong? And it's this whole thing with grief is, like I said in the newsletter, the letter that I've just read to you, is when someone says to you, come on, you've got this, it's just horrible, it's just awful. And I know why it's said and I know it's well intended, but stay strong is just a completely different thing.
It's different, because like you say, being strong, you need to be stronger. You need to cheer up a little bit. It's like, well, come on.
Yeah. And that works sometimes, I'll say that to the kids quite often, just like, I used to, when they were like, come on, you need to get through this. Come on, chin up, let's go. Yeah. But this is not that case. And that was just not what you wanted to hear, or certainly not what people want to hear when they're having a hard time. So anyway, so this whole thing about the anchor, it was there constantly. I'd written that email, I'd sent it out, And there was something about just that word, the meaning of stay. And I talked to you about it, didn't I? I said, what does it mean, when it's an anchor? And you told me all about the boats because you used to do yachting and things. And
yeah, but a stay is something that will hold the boat steady against either a buoy or buoy or whatever you want to call it, or next to the dockside or next to wherever it is, or to the anchor. The anchor can be what's on the bottom of the ocean or the seabed, and the cable going to it is classed as a stay because it's chain at the bottom but mainly rope at the top.
So I had this vision in my head then. So I'd spoken to Brian about it, and I'm still trying to comprehend the whole staying strong, and just now I had this vision of this anchor, and it was like, yes, this is it, but I still wasn't quite there. I knew that it was the anchor that was holding me, and was it Mum that was keeping me, and this anchor just holding on to me. And I went for a walk because every day for months now I've been going for a walk, for an hour's walk down by the beach, and just on my own, and just having some time on my own, and just to clear my head and just be alone. I think we've spoken about that before. It's one of the best things I've ever done, both for my health physically and for my health mentally. It's just been a tonic, an absolute tonic for me. Anyway, you might know if you've listened to this podcast, certainly if you've been watching us on YouTube as well, that we talk a lot about, before this happened with Mum, we would talk a lot about going to our local cafe, which is just down the road from where we live. And we were going down there 5-6 times a week. And it was like our local hangout. And we talked to people down there. You'd meet the same people, see the same faces. And it was just lovely. And then when Mum got ill, I just couldn't, I was finding it harder and harder to be around people because I was quite often crying. I'm not very good at holding back tears in public. And so people would see me crying, and there was just this, I just started to feel really self-aware of. Yeah,
you just don't want anyone asking you, oh, how you feeling? How's your Yeah. It's that type of thing, wasn't it? That's why you wanted to steer clear from it.
And I felt really guilty because we've got people down there that care about us, and there's a very lovely local community down there. But when Mum passed, I just couldn't go down. I just said to Brian, I just want to be just us. I just want to stay up here. And Brian started making us coffee. We've talked to you about that before. Every morning we got into a routine now where we do our grounding and we go and watch the sunrise and we have our coffee, and that's our time. We don't go to the cafe anymore. And then Brian goes and works out in the garage, and I go down to the beach for a walk, and then we come back, we get showered, and we start work. And that's how the day has been. Anyway, so last week I went down to the cafe. I went down for my walk, and I was walking along in a world of my own, and I look over and there's a guy walking towards me who goes down to that cafe every time we go down there. And I'm going to say his name actually because I love him. And I don't think he listens to this podcast, but his name is Mark. And he's just such a lovely guy. He's an ex-principal of a school here in New Plymouth. And like I say, we don't go out together or anything like that. We've never been to each other's house for dinner or anything, although he did invite us, but that we weren't able to go that day. But we're cafe friends, And I was walking along and I saw him. My first thought was like, oh no, he's just I'm going to have to say why I haven't been to the cafe for 3 months. And this is just so typical New Zealand. This is just so typical Kiwi people. He sees me and he goes, morning, Liz. And I said, oh, hi, Mark. I said, hi. And he goes, we've missed you. And immediately, when you start to feel prickly tears, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to cry. And I said, yeah, I said, we just haven't been down there, Mark. And he went, no, that's I understand. Brian told me that, about your mum. I'm very sorry. And he offered his condolences. And he just said, but I want you to know that people miss you and people care about you and we think about you. And you just come back whenever you're ready, but please know we think about you. And then he said something like, how are you in yourself? And I was about to say, like, just typical British, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, everything's fine, And then I just thought, he deserves more than that. He really does. I know him too well from the cafe that I'm not going to stand here.
Don't need to stiff up a lip. Yeah.
I don't. And I just said, I'm not great, Mark. I'm not great. I said, I'm getting there, but I'm not great. And he just said, there was this beautiful moment of silence, and he didn't say anything. I had so much respect for that, because if the roles had been reversed, like I said in that letter, I would have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a hard time, isn't it? And blah, 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 like I always do. But he didn't say a word, just stayed quiet and just looked at me. And he said, can I suggest something, a song? Can I suggest a song that you listen to? And again, my immediate reaction was, oh, no, don't tell me anything. Don't give me any sad songs that I've got to listen to that's going to make me bawl. And I went, yeah, sure. And he said, this is a song that really helped me when I lost my dad. He said, and not only that, he said, after I listened to it, I took the song to school. He was a headmaster of a school, a high school in New Plymouth. And Mark is very, 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 his whole goal is to help the people who haven't got as much as everyone else.
The have-nots.
Yeah, I think there's a better word for it than have-nots.
I would say the underdogs, but they're not underdogs. They're
underprivileged children. Yeah.
That's the word, yeah.
And he's always there for them, and he's hoping to bring them up. And, that's what his whole ethos with the school was. And he's always telling us stories about how, like success stories, and about how these kids were not doing well, and then they've been put in this program, or they've had this support, this mentorship. And so I knew this about him. And he said, I love this song. He said, when my dad passed, it meant a lot to me. And he took it to the school and he played it to the teachers and said to them, if we can implement what it says in this song for the children in this school, then we will be a better school. Anyway, we said our goodbyes, and I had my AirPods, and I thought, I'll just be brave. I'll listen to the song. He said it's called Anchor Me by the Mutton Birds. It's a New Zealand group. He said, I think it'll really help you. And so I'm walking along the beach and I find Anchor Me by the Mutton Birds. And I started playing it. And all of a sudden, everything that I'd written in that newsletter, everything that Bride told me about Kia Kaha, everything about people saying stay strong and, you're doing so well. It was just like a light bulb moment going ping,
Yeah.
And I was walking along the beach. I must have listened to it about 20 times. I was walking along the beach, and we're going to play this song for you at the end of the podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, we're going to put some of our footage on our videos on. But anyway, I want you to listen to this song and think about what your anchor is. Because when I was listening to that song, I thought my anchor is not just mum, because mum will always be there for me, but my anchor is New Zealand. My anchor is being here in this country and going, we've got you. Just like Mark, just like meeting him after all those months and not being there, and there's no funny business, there's no funny atmosphere, there's just like, oh, Bri, it was just like a magic potion of someone going, there you go, Liz, I've wrapped it all up and I've put a bow on it for you, and there it is. Yeah. That's what you need to remember, Liz. That's your anchor. You're going through a hard time. I mean, honestly, you're going to listen to it in a minute, because we don't care about not being able to be monetized, because this is the Mutton Birds, and we're going to play you it because the words, the lyrics are so poignant, so special, so meaningful, and so New Zealand. When those guys wrote this song, they must have known. They must have known that people were going to need it. And it was
that's it, yeah. Turbulent times and things like that. And and everything they talk about it. I was singing it, yeah.
So that was it. That's what we wanted to just come on and talk about on the podcast. And I'm getting upset because I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm just so passionate about it, because it meant such a lot. It was like someone opening a window and going, there you go. That's what you've been looking for, isn't it? Do you ever feel like that, Brian?
Yeah, of course you do. There's times when something just strikes a chord, and that's it, isn't it? It's just that I just needed that right now.
I did.
Yeah.
And it was like fragmented. It was like little bits. Okay, we've got the newsletter, and we've got the Brian saying Kia Kaha, and we've got that, the connection between that, and I've got the feeling that something is looking out for me and holding me, and I'm okay. I know deep down that I'm okay. I know that.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I know it, but I don't know how I know it. And then when I heard this song, it was like, that's how you know it.
Yeah.
Because your anchor, and like I say, it's many things. It's like your true self, you know, your heritage, your blood, your country, your everything. It's just in that song, and it's just, I love it so much.
Yeah, no, it's great, and that's it. That's what it's center me, isn't it? Like, you know, it's anchor me. Yeah. I love the idea of the anchor. I know when I was first learning to do sort of like meditation and mindfulness, and you know, and it's just said, imagine that there's the anchor and there's the boat up in sitting on the surface of the water, and you know the boat moves a little bit and just tugs on the anchor and just goes dunk, and it just be mindful, dunk, be mindful. It's just almost like the ticking clock, and it's just every time it just nudge you. Oh, hang on a minute, you need to be mindful right now. You know, and that's that anchor. It's a wonderful way to talk about being centered and just,
it is. And also remembering what your anchor, I think that's what it is, because I've been talking a lot lately about, and again, I just feel like there's all this thing going around me, and like all of a sudden it's like been like a magnet, and it's just gone boom, like, you know, just clapped together.
Yeah.
And it does, it just feels like I know it's nature, and I know it's being out, and I know it's New Zealand, and I know it's mum, and I know it's you, and I know it's the people out there. I talk a lot about the support that people have given us, and I can feel that so strongly, and trying to give it back as much as I can, you know, like giving, just deflecting it back to you. And yeah, it was just perfect. It was just this beautiful lyrics. Anyway, all that to say that thank you, New Zealand. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, New Zealand people. Thank you, my anchor. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Bri, for bringing Kia Kaha, and just bringing so much meaning to that for me.
Yeah.
And making me go out and search in the dictionary, because that's a true story. I looked it up, and I'm like, what does stay mean?
Yeah.
You know, what does stay actually mean? And there's so many definitions, but that was the one where it was like, you know, just like pinging out. So that's it. And remember, if you haven't had those newsletters from me and you would like to receive those 5 newsletters, if you're on my newsletter list anyway, my front row newsletter, you're going to get those letters. But if you're not and you want to sign up, you can just go to www.itsadrama.com/letters. So itsadrama.com/letters will put you into that email list, and you will get those 5 letters. And I'm actually even thinking of, because this is, I don't know why I'm telling you this now, but this is like top secret, but it's not top secret because I'm just saying
secret.
it. But I'm actually in the throes of writing a new book about the reasons why we never left New Zealand. And I'm going to put that letter in that book, because there you go. In fact, I might just make the book that one letter. Yeah. It's the shortest book in the world.
The easiest book.
Yeah. Look at me, I finished my book.
It's a novel.
So thank you so much for listening. And don't forget as well, if you are part of this community and you want to know more about New Zealand, you can get our free 5-day video guide. I'll put that link in the description down below. Yeah. And that gives you our videos of life in New Zealand. Again, absolutely free. All this I'm telling you is absolutely free.
That's mainly for moving to New Zealand, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're just a New Zealand lover and you're watching this and you're thinking about moving to New Zealand, then again, links in the description for that. But
yeah, so I think it's time to play some music on the show. First time ever proper music.
It is.
Yeah, someone's real music.
Like I say, if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, you're going to see all our homemade footage going into the background of this song. And if you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much. Just imagine beautiful New Zealand, and imagine these guys writing this song and thinking, Liz will need this in 20 years. Yeah. I'll write this for her.
Well done, chaps.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Big shout out to the Mutton Birds, award-winning New Zealand group, formed in early 90s, 91 I think it was, something like that. And then they won some awards in 93 for best album, best single, and best group.
Yeah. And you listening to this and you watching this, you go into this whole package of making this whole little, this perfect support that I'm feeling right now, just all this love and all this stepping up onto the next step. I can feel it from you, and I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being with us and for everything that you do and for tuning in and watching and listening. I love you. I think you're absolutely wonderful. And until next time, I will speak to you soon.
Yep. So once you go up those steps, the view's a lot better from up here. It really, really is. But so don't forget, Kia kaha, stay strong. Kia u, stay true. And that's true to yourself. And let's enjoy the Mutton Birds, Les.
Yeah, let's sit back and enjoy 4 beautiful minutes. Imagine walking along the beach and listening to this. Anchor Me by the Mutton Birds. Thank you.
Full fathom 5. Someday I lied, singing songs that come from dead men's tongues. Anchor me, anchor me. As the compass turns and the glass it falls, and the storm clouds roll, and the gulls they call. Anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me, anchor me. Let the salt spray lash the shivering skin, where the green waves crash and the whirlpools spin. Anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me where the banshees cry and the bells they sound. When you lift me high, when you pull me down, when you pull me down, when you pull me down. Anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me in the middle of your deep blue sea, your deep blue sea. In the middle of your deep blue sea, your deep blue sea. Anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me, anchor me.
Good.
Good?
Yep.
You happy with that, Ben?
Yeah.
Should we press record on this one?
Yeah.
Hello. The actual person you've just met, and obviously Bernard, you said he had a nice body because he was.
I didn't.
He did yoga. so
that's not
maybe
him.
you were just thinking of Bernard at the time and just thought, I can't think of.
Can you just be serious, please? Because
I
I'm
am.
not trying to make a joke of
But
this.
I'm not making a joke. I'm just saying all these things that are triggering stuff in your head, and then someone says, "Oh," snaps you out of reality and goes, "What's her name?" You go, "I don't know."
Well, for one, let
Yeah.
me just be clear here.
Yes.
I wasn't standing looking at Bernard's body because Bernard was